Presiding Officer, Scotland is in the middle of a housing emergency. While all of us here will wake up this Christmas morning to see the joy on our loved ones' faces, this year a record number of Scots will wake up without a home to call their own. Homelessness is at record levels. 10,000 children are living in temporary accommodation, and hundreds will be left to wake up in hostels, refuge centres and B&Bs. So can I ask John Swinney, is he still proud of his SNP government's record on housing?
First Minister.
First of all, Senator, let me associate myself with Mr Sarwar's remarks and express my good wishes to you, Presiding Officer, for a happy Christmas, and to parliamentary staff, and to express my appreciation to those in the emergency services and our volunteer community who will be working, and our public services who will be working hard to keep everybody safe and supported during the Christmas break. In relation to the question of housing, I accept, the Government accepts that there is a housing emergency. We are not building enough houses. We've built more houses, more affordable houses per head of population in Scotland than in other parts of the United Kingdom, but we are not building enough, which is why the Government has significantly increased the housing budget for the next financial year by over £200 million. We will be spending, we've allocated in the budget £768 million, representing a 38% increase in the housing budget to help to build the housing that is required to meet the needs of people in Scotland. So the Government has a strong record on building houses, but we have a changing society that requires more house building, and the Government is putting the resources in place to make sure that can be the case.
Sarwar.
Thank you, President Officer. John Swinney is talking about correcting the mess his own government made, but actually this is about the people here and now. So let me give you one example of thousands. Miriam is a single working mum in Glasgow. Almost 2 years ago, Miriam and her 4 children were evicted after she complained about the mould and leaks that were affecting her children's health. She was forced to declare herself homeless, was put into temporary accommodation and hour from her children's school, where she and her family had been living ever since. 5 people crammed into a 2-bedroom flat. And despite Miriam's efforts, her daughter, who dreamed of being a dentist, had her education so disrupted by the chaos that she missed out on her dream by just 1 mark. First Minister, the housing emergency, of course, has an immediate impact, but can't you see that it's also impacting the life chances and outcomes for our young people? So how can this government be proud of its record?
First Minister.
Well, I think it is important to look at the data and the evidence on this. So, in a period which we've lived through over the last 14 years of punishing austerity, and that's a financial context that Mr Sarwar and I actually agree about, because we both agree that the period of austerity has been incredibly damaging for the public infrastructure and the public fabric of our country, and has significant social and economic implications. So he and I agree on that. And in that context, the Scottish Government has built 73% more affordable homes per head of population than in Wales, and 47% more affordable homes than compared to England since 2007. So that is the record of this government, and I will argue for that, because the government has actually, and the facts speak for themselves, the Scottish Government, against the prevailing tide of austerity, has built more affordable houses per head of population than any other part of the United Kingdom. Now, I accept that's not enough, which is why we've just increased the budget. It's why we've put in that commitment to make sure that we can encourage and motivate more house building to address the very issues that Mr Sarwar raises with me today.